Do they offer scholarships? Yes. We have a dynamic scholarship program that's awarded over $730,000 in gifted tuition. Okay, everybody. Normally, all my courses on my website cost $1,000 each, but I'm going to magically grant you all a scholarship. And now, if you go to my website, they're only $25. See how easy it is to offer scholarships to something whose price is completely arbitrary and that I have complete control over? Hey everyone, welcome to Nicole Reacts, where I, Nicole, react to online marketing gurus that I find on the internet. My qualifications for snark and commentary are that I've owned a marketing company for almost 15 years. In that time, having worked with hundreds of clients on things like search engine optimization, email marketing, blogging, social media marketing, and related fields. So I have a fair bit of internet marketing general knowledge and experience working with people on implementing internet marketing. So today's person is someone I actually know, not like in real life, but I've had a previous relationship with before reacting to a video from them, and that's Marie Forleo. Now, I was a big Marie Forleo stan for a long time, and over the last couple of years, I've kind of deconstructed from her and kind of see some cracks in that very shiny surface. I will thank Marie Forleo, though, for introducing me to Shein. Now, you can feel what you want about Shein. I definitely have complex feelings about it. But I will say that as a plus size person, finding clothing that is colorful and doesn't involve skulls or cut out shoulders was a little difficult for a certain period of time. But once I figured out where she was getting her clothes, I was able to start wearing bold colors and prints, etc. Now, when I film these videos, I try to keep things relatively neutral because of the background and all that. Because sometimes things look good in real life that don't look good on film. But anyway, so besides that, I followed Marie for years and watched Marie TV every single week. I was on her email news list. I even pre-purchased her book, Everything is Figure Outable, before it came out. So two of the sort of bonuses that you got if you pre-bought the book before it was released was you got the audio version of the book for free, and you also got this class, like it was like a class over email about setting goals or something. Now, I forgot why I didn't do the class in real time. I think there was just a lot of stuff going on in my life, but I went to go take it later. I just kind of saved all the emails and thought, okay, I'll consume this later. And everything disappeared. So I emailed the support team and I was like, "Hey, what's up with this?" And they said, "Oh, it expired after this period of time. Like you had to do it live or not at all." And I was like, "Well, it kind of wasn't really made clear in the marketing." And so they were like, "Yeah, sorry." I think they ended up giving me like a week of access or something, and then the whole interaction just left such a sour taste in my mouth that I couldn't even watch the videos. But I'm more of an audiobook consumer, especially now that I kind of go back and forth a lot between New York State and Maine. It's like about a 9-hour drive, and most audiobooks are about that 7 to 10 hour range. So I usually can do 2 books per trip. So I was like, all right, well, I actually had some painting to do. I was getting Anchor Space Potsdam, which is my co-working space in Potsdam, New York, ready to open. I had a ton of painting to do, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to listen to this uh, audiobook while I paint. And I only got about, I don't know, 3 chapters in before I was like, I can't do this. So I've never read the physical book because I couldn't even get through the audiobook. But the main beef I had with the audiobook is not only was it relatively generic advice, but it was all stuff I had seen in her Marie TV, in her blog, and all the stuff I had followed. So if you're a Marie Forleo fan and you try to read that book, you're like, okay, I kind of thought there'd be some new stuff in here, but it's kind of the same stuff that we've already heard of before. Now, in looking into Marie Forleo, she was running B School with Laura Roeder, and I was using meatier, which is the social media scheduling software that Laura Roeder came up with. I'm not sure where Laura Roeder fell off with B School, but for a while, Laura and Marie were running B School, and then it was just Marie. So, not quite sure what happened there. I'll put some notes below if I find out after this video what happened, but anyway, so now Marie Forleo runs this B School, and I can't tell the frequency which it's run because I'm not on the email list anymore, but it seemed to be about once a year, twice a year. And I followed a few of the people that graduated from it. And to be honest with you, the people that were most successful that I followed seem to be people who came from privilege previously. So, I kind of thought B school would be like, oh, here's how to pick stuff, yourself up by your bootstraps. But it kind of seems, like I said, that the people who were able to actually make their businesses successful already had access to a network, to capital, etc. Right? So, yeah, the results from B school didn't really blow me away. Just seeing those people out existing on social media, running their businesses. And I certainly didn't want to be like a high ticket coach or anything like that. So I thought, if I'm going to go to a B school, I'm going to go get an MBA. I still haven't done that yet. I just can't justify spending the resources financially and the time to do it, especially as I'm trying to kind of build my company. But, maybe at some point, it's definitely still on the list. But I always thought, if I'm going to spend money and really put some time in, I might as well spend an extra year and actually have an MBA at the end. I don't know, just my thought. So, if you look around on YouTube, you'll see there's like an uptick in content that Marie Forleo was producing 3 years ago. And I think that was kind of in conjunction with the release of this book, Everything is Figure Outable, right? I think that she was doing a lot of kind of high value free things so that you can see what a great person she is and hopefully buy her book. So I think that that's what happened. Obviously, there's not been a lot of live events since the pandemic, so that might be playing into it too. But anyway, today's video by her is called How to Find Your People, Customers, Community, and Social Media. It's approximately 30 minutes long. It looks like it's a live version of Marie TV. If you've ever watched Marie TV, it's these short segments. They're between 5 and 10 minutes long that are pretty highly produced. It sounds like this one is live, so I'm expecting still a good production value because she dresses nice, the lighting's good, background is good. Like it seems like she puts a lot into production. So I am expecting that quality, but I'm expecting sort of less jump cuts, less dance breaks, etc., because it is a live video. So without further ado, let's see what Marie has to say about finding our people, because that's an important part of marketing.
Hey, it's Marie Forleo, and you are watching Marie TV, the place to be to create a business and life you love.
Normally, when Marie does Marie TV, it's just her. So I have no idea who this guy is. I'm sure she'll introduce him.
This is my dear friend, Gregory Patterson, and today we're here to take your questions.
Okay. Hairstylist extraordinaire, Marie Forleo, business coach, are taking your questions. Very curious about this combo of people.
We're going to do our very best to help give you some insight, some perspective that can help you move ahead. So let's get started.
Hi.
Hi, Salma. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm very well. Thank you.
It's so good to talk to you. Salma, where are you today?
I'm in Pakistan.
Oh, beautiful. Well, we're sending you lots of love from New York City. Tell us your question, and we will do our very best to help you out.
Okay, so here's my question. Marie, to what extent do you believe your environment can or should impact your success? Factors such as where you live geographically and what facilities you have access to, how convenient it is to work there, etc., are obviously really important for any business. But what do you do when you find that external factors are holding you back? How do you either ignore them or overcome them without feeling just utterly helpless about things you just simply can't control?
All right. So Marie's famous sort of story is that she started off being a dance choreographer and she pivoted to life coaching in her early 20s. She didn't really know what she was doing. She somehow got a job in fashion, somewhere in between there. But basically, that she hustled her way to the top of where she is now. So, she'll say, I didn't grow up with rich parents. I didn't go to any fancy schools, and look how successful I am. So, what I'm curious about is, yes, I'm sure she did work hard, but also we can also acknowledge that she's a good-looking person and she had some luck, right? Running into the right people to be able to make her successful. So, I'm curious how much she's going to acknowledge even the bit of privilege that she does have in this moment. I think will tell us a lot.
Really,
Good question.
really good
Yeah.
question. I don't think there is anyone right now, and I'm raising my hand, you can't see me, but I am, who hasn't faced this at some point in their life. So I want you to know you are not alone. One of the things that I try and focus on in my own life is keeping my attention on the things that I can control, which is my attitude.
She also does this during Marie TV. She has her like tweetables or nuggets of wisdom where she writes out her point and encourages people to share it. I will say, I think that it's interesting. I'm not a camera person. Like, obviously, this is a webcam. We have a basic mic. We do have a lighting set because my house is dark. But I will say that this camera angle where she's answering the question, she has this really pretty background behind her and her co-host. And the side camera is kind of getting things off to the side. So it feels like a little bit more authentic and less produced. You'll see that the stuff behind her is still relatively artistic, like the stacks of books and, the pictures and things like that. But it's still, I think it's meant to evoke like that she's kind of bringing us in. She's like talking about what's real. It's not this fancy backdrop behind her and her being perfectly lit, but it is her kind of telling us how it really is.
My energy, my work ethic, my ability to be honest with myself when things aren't working, my ability to really let myself feel what I'm feeling when things are difficult. So those emotions go through me. Here's the deal. As human beings, we can't just pretend that our environments don't impact us, right? So we have these things in our brains called mirror neurons. That's just a part of our the way that we operate in the world, which means that we can detect what's happening. We can detect other people's emotions, and they do impact us, whether or not we want to realize that. Same thing with environment. Right now, we're in New York City, where we're shooting the show. And I also spend a lot of time actually outside of New York City, because I find that my nervous system is able to relax a little bit easier when I'm around a lot of trees versus when I'm around a lot of other people or concrete.
Okay, so she has the means to live two different places. Now, I think what she's going to suggest to this caller is saying like, okay, so if you find that you're similarly like, leave your apartment and go to a park, or, find a forest, and, she's going to say kind of give you a way to do this that's much like smaller scale. And it makes you wonder, okay, well, why can't you just do that and experience the same benefits? That's what I predict she's going to say.
So I'm saying all that to give context so that for you and for anyone watching, it's inevitable that our environments are going to impact us. However, in your case, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you have a dream of moving, whether it's to a new town, a new city, or even a new country?
Yes.
Great. Do you mind if I ask,
answer.
are you in college? Are you adult stage?
Oh, no. So I'm in my 40s already, and I actually have lived in New York City when I was around 10 years old. And I have a lot of work in the US, so I travel frequently to the US. I just came back from San Francisco and Seattle. So I have a lot of clients in the US, and I do like a lot of traveling and all of that. But ultimately my family is here and I do live here, and it is hard right now to plan that move because there are just a lot of limitations at this point. So, I mean, there is the dream is absolutely there, but there are challenges right now.
Okay.
So it's interesting. She said, "Are you thinking about moving right now?" And I feel like, I think Kaya's World. I can't remember. There was a YouTube channel that talked about motivational cold reading, and it's so funny because if you think about it, if someone is watching sort of self-help content, right? Ideally, you're not where you want to be. If you were, you probably wouldn't be watching self-help content, right? So usually people want something else, right? And so, do you want to start a business? Do you want to move? Do you want to make more money? These are like kind of three questions, typically with a yes answer that a self-help guru could ask and kind of get you in that direction. So the way she's like, okay, great. It's like she was like, do you want to move? And the woman's like, well, I get to travel a lot. I kind of do, but I can't really do it right now because of my family. So Let's see what Marie has to say. But I liked this sort of motivational cold reading that's happening here, because there's a couple of questions she could have easily asked, like yes, no questions, where this person would have also probably said yes.
Great. Thank you for sharing all of that, because it helps us
Sure.
all understand more about your situation and how we can help you set up structures that you can thrive. And that's really where I would tell you to go next. So, for example, since you have traveled to a bunch of other places, you have that direct experience of knowing how you feel in different parts of the world, how you feel working in different parts of the world. And I would ask you right now, where
Mhm.
you are, given the fact that it sounds like you must be there for at least a certain amount of time, what are
Mhm.
some things that you feel that when you do them, you find yourself more relaxed?
This is the part where she's like gonna be like, in your normal life, go sit in a park. It's not bad advice, okay? I'm just saying that, like, it's not bad advice, but it's like predictable advice, right?
Or ways that you set up your environment, whether it's in your home, your office, even,
Mhm.
taking a weekend away. What are some things that you could do to support yourself in having as much good energy
Yep.
as possible?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I would like to say that I think one of the places I find flow is when I'm with people who are just as ambitious. I wouldn't say necessarily like-minded, but but we're on the same wavelength. When I have the same kind of energy conversations with people, and it's exciting and it's fun, and even though I do need to retreat back to my introverted space, but when I am with people who inspire me, I
Yes.
think I just really like that and really want to open up even more.
Great. So, if you were to be honest between you and you, do you feel
Yeah.
like that may be something that up until this conversation may not have been as consistent as perhaps you would like it to be?
Oh, absolutely. It's not that consistent.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna take little nuggets of what you said. I'm gonna say reframe it in an obvious way, and you're gonna say yes, and then I'm gonna look like an authority. So I don't know.
So, given what you shared with us, my
Mhm.
suggestion would be for you to step up in your own life and be the leader of creating those conversations. So maybe it's about, once every 2 weeks, you make an invite to invite folks to a restaurant or your house or some other meeting center where you kind of start to gather a little bit of a creative collective where people have ambitions that y'all feed off each other's energy. And so it's not something that necessarily is for profit, it's just more of something that's for your soul.
Okay, quick thing. Okay, she's with her hairdresser right now, right? Is it me, or is the hair on the left shorter than the hair on the right? It could be that she's kind of pulling it to one side, but yeah, it's kind of bugging me, so I'm just sharing that with you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that absolutely does. And I think that can I ask a follow-up
Of
question with that?
course. Of course.
Would if I wanted to do this on in an online space, because I just find that I work better globally
Yes,
rather than locally.
sure.
So do you think that, forming like a mastermind group or something would be the way to go?
First of all, I love that you're bringing this up because, the science supports that people being together in person is one of the most nourishing things.
What science?
But I'm always of the mindset that all of us are so different. And I'll
Mhm.
tell you that I have connections. I'll tell you this recently in my life, things have been really busy for me. And I have some friends that live in New York, but they just live about a half hour away that we still Skype because at the end of our work days, we're so tired. Neither one of us is like, oh, I can't get on a subway or I can't get up there.
Right.
To your point, absolutely. I've found online connections to be so incredibly nourishing.
I love all these nuggets of wisdom that are going on the screen. Um, I mean, clearly it was filmed live, but they had time post-production to kind of add these nuggets in. But it's funny because this was recorded obviously right before the pandemic. So, oh, remember when we didn't know this was coming?
They can fill your heart. They can give you that sense of energy and connection that so many of us are craving these days. So if that's
Mhm.
the route that you want to go, I'd say 100%. I'll just tell you a little story from our B School program.
Speaking of online communities, I have a B School program.
I think one
Yeah.
of the greatest benefits of it, we have over, I think it's 44,000 graduates so far.
Really? Is there a list of these graduates anywhere? I'm gonna see if I can find who some of these people are, maybe after this.
people make friends, and they make friends across the globe, and they hype on Zoom calls or Skype calls or telephone calls or FaceTime, and they wind up connecting and sharing ideas. And often they find people that they would have never found in their geographical location. They find business soulmates and work wives and work husbands and people that they can connect with that really help them take their ideas and their business to the next level. So I would strongly encourage you to form that mastermind or whatever those digital connections could look like for you.
Okay, that's really awesome. I think one of the other things that I often think about is how do I change challenges into advantages? So, okay, there's a limitation and all of that,
Yes.
but can I, have a different mindset towards this? How can I think about it differently, I suppose is what I'm getting.
Yeah. So here's the thing. All of your strengths in your life, Salma, come from things that were difficult initially. I can guarantee you, if
you can tell she was trained by Tony Robbins. I mean, she's a good speaker, right? And one of the things that a lot of salespeople do is they'll repeat your name, like in the conversation. So they'll say, "Nice to meet you, so-and-so," and then later on in the conversation, they'll mention your name again. But the other thing that I think is really interesting is that when Salma brought up that she lived in Pakistan, Marie assumed that her limitations were geographic, which I thought was an interesting assumption, because maybe her limitations are, the amount of time she has in a day because she's working multiple jobs. Maybe her limitations are that she's caring for young children, or maybe the limitation, you know what I mean? Like, just, we kind of went in this geographic direction when she didn't really say that her challenge was geographic. Marie said, "Do you want to move?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I if I could make it work, but like right now it's not going to work." But there might be other things that she wants to do, right? So I just think it's interesting that we assumed that because she lives not in the United States, that her limitation was geographic, but it might be something else.
Took out a journal and started to write down all of the things that you're really good at now, or things that you have found to be strengths in your own life. If you trace back those threads, I can pretty much guarantee that at least the vast majority of them have come from some sort of challenge or difficulty, or sometimes even pain. So that gives you a new frame.
I will say one of the books I kind of dove into in my mid-20s, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do before I started this business, is called What Color is Your Parachute? And one of the exercises in that book is they have you write 10 stories. I mean, there's other exercises in the book. I just remember this one. They're like, tell a story about a problem you solved. And they're like, it could be a personal problem, could be a professional problem. And I remember my first one I went to was like, one time I had someone stay over at my house, and while they were sleeping, I woke up and thought, I'm going to cook breakfast as like a treat for this person staying at my house. And I opened my fridge and I had like nothing. So, I mean, I had some eggs, I had a pear, I had some Gruyere cheese, and I was like, I'm going to make a pear Gruyere omelet. And somehow I think I found some shallots. Like I like made basically this beautiful breakfast from what I initially saw as a completely empty fridge. Was one of the problems I solved. And then it's like, okay, well, so you tell that story to you write it all out. And then it's like, okay, what qualities does it show in that story? Okay, it shows that I'm creative. It shows that I'm resourceful. It shows that I'm flexible. I didn't like immediately say, oh, I can't do anything because I don't have, bacon or something like that, right? It shows that I'm considerate of other people because I wanted to serve this person breakfast. Like, so I guess what I'm saying is that this is similar advice, but rather than saying like, okay, what qualities do I have and what challenges did they come from? You can think about it rather than thinking about the hardships in your life. You can think about like, okay, what problem have I solved? Because that feels to me a lot more relatable. Because if you were like, oh, what qualities did you cultivate when your dad died in a horrific accident? I would be hard pressed to think of that. But if you were like, okay, like what's a problem you solved? Oh, well, at work, I was spending 5 hours making a report every week that no one seemed to read. So how did I solve that problem? I tried to automate parts of it, and then I decreased the frequency of the report. No one noticed. And then I just stopped doing the report and nobody noticed. So I freed up 5 hours a week of my time to be able to do better, what I thought were better activities to make that business money. Right. So that's, so anyway, point being is that if we can choose what things we look at and think about our problems instead of like, challenging life situations, I think we can think of qualities a lot easier, but just my opinion.
On how you look at challenges moving forward, because what it really is a growth opportunity. You are going to go stronger by walking straight into this challenge and finding out what you're really made of, focusing on, what is this new trait or this new strength or this new capability that I'm about to develop, and understanding that when things are uncomfortable, that means you're growing. You're in that beautiful, how you were mentioned when I'm in flow, right? There's that flow zone. If things are too easy in life, we actually atrophy. What we do is we lose our edge. When we're in our comfort zone too long, things start to actually wither away and die. Now, if we push ourselves too hard in the other direction, right? So we're not in places that are really difficult, but it's just, we've put the difficult level so high that we fall down. That's not good either. But finding that sweet spot where you're uncomfortable and you're willing to stay in that, that's where your strengths come from. And that's how I'd recommend you start to frame these challenges coming up.
I don't know if Marie Forleo spends most of her life feeling uncomfortable. I do feel like a lot of self-help people, though, prescribe this. And I'm not sure how healthy it is to feel uncomfortable most of the time. I do think it's important to challenge yourself, but I don't think it's important to sort of stay in that uncomfortable stage. I think it's also okay to just, I don't know, enjoy your life, work in the flow state. This one was talking about like, oh yeah, when I get in my flow state, great. That's not where you have difficulties, right? And when you're in flow state, like that's this thing that all the productivity gurus want you to get to, right? So I don't know. I disagree with Marie here that staying uncomfortable will make you progress. I am more of the mindset of the James Clear Atomic Habits thing where you like try to get 1% better or something like that. Like you try to incrementally improve things in your life rather than like sticking yourself in challenging situations all the time. But
yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, this is a great question.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
We're excited for you. We're excited for you to get your group going, and we really hope that you keep us posted on how it goes.
I will. Thank you. It's been such an amazing honor to talk with you. I've been following you for ages, and you were my inspiration to start a YouTube channel and do like weekly content. And yeah, I mean, I just love everything that you have put out there in the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again soon.
I will say one of the examples that I blogged about with Marie is if you go, I don't know if it's still true, but if you would go to Marie's channel and scroll all the way back to the first video she uploaded, she is on a webcam. Her lighting is terrible, and she's like just talking at her camera. It's a worse quality than what I'm showing to you right now. So, I always tell people like find someone you admire, YouTube or whatever, and then go back to the first thing that they produced and you'll see the growth there. Right. So this woman's like, I've been following you since, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I had been too. And I just remember I was getting really down about myself because I wanted to do more video content, but like, it just wasn't, I felt like it wasn't going well. And this was a few years ago. And then I was like, you know what? Marie Forleo, like, what was her first video? And I scrolled all the way back and I was like, well, I'll be darned. So I might have that blog post still on my blog. Maybe I'll just link to it here if you want to go see what I was talking about. But yeah, she wasn't always this polished.
Thank you, Marie. Take care.
Fine.
Bye.
She doesn't have to always be this polished. Also, is this guy going to talk at all? Or is he just kind of there so that Marie isn't just talking to herself?
Hello, this is Yolanda.
Hey, Yolanda, this is Marie Forleo, and you're on the Marie TV call-in show.
Yes, hi there. How are you?
We're so good. You're here with myself and Gregory and Team Forleo, and we are so excited to talk with you today.
Yes, I'm excited to have this conversation.
So tell us your question, and we'll see if we can share some insight or ideas that can help you move forward.
Okay, great. Well, basically, as a mom, and a recent graduate in the Urban Sustainability Program here in LA. I wanted to find out how can I basically balance, being in business and really working on social media, generating income, but also having that balance to walk away from the screen.
Yes.
And, be able to take care of myself and my family.
So I love that. I was trying to figure out what all these bowls on the table were for. I guess one of them is confetti, which was demonstrated just now. But when the screen gets wider, look over the guy's shoulders, and there's a picture of Marie Forleo with Oprah. It's small, but noticeable.
Yes. Okay, great question. So let me ask you this.
Whoop, there it is. See, so Marie was part of Super Soul Sunday. So I like the Oprah picture in the background there. Just super cash.
Yes.
What stage is your business at right now? Do you have clients or customers, or tell me about where you're at?
Yeah, that's a good question. Basically, I've been doing advocacy work for about 8 years now. So I'm pretty established from the standpoint of having clients and having followers on Facebook. But I'm not really generating any income from the social media side of it. It's more just from the consulting part, but I do a lot of educating and sharing stories online. And I want to be able to turn that into a more lucrative effort.
Yes. Okay. So your business model, I'm hearing, if I got this right, that the consulting is the revenue stream right now. And
Yes.
what at least your perspective is at the moment, you want to be able to somehow monetize the information that you share on social. Did I get that right?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because I show a lot on, online, but it's more from an educational perspective.
So
I wonder if she's going to recommend turning the content into a course that's behind a paywall, or some kind of thing that's behind a paywall. Typically, they do it as a course, but I'm also wondering if she's going to talk about how TikTok and YouTube and all that have these sort of income that they give creators based on the views on their content. So and different platforms have different amounts, right? So for example, YouTube, by the way, if you subscribe to my channel, you'll help me get toward the 1,000 subscribers I need to monetize the channel. On TikTok, the monetization, you have to have 10,000 followers, and you also have to have a certain amount of typically watch hours or new video uploads. And, you have to show not just followers, but that you have some level of activity on the platform. And then you can apply to, be compensated by these large companies for your content, essentially based on the amount of views you get. I'm curious which angle she's going to go here.
I'm going to come in with a perspective that you may or may not like, my love, but because you asked my question, this question, I am going to give you my answer. So I don't think personally social media is the place to monetize. I think that if you have profitable consulting clients, that you should really take a step back, see what's working and how you might want to expand that business. There's a couple things that are problematic for me about social. Number one, you don't own those platforms. That means that you don't own the connection with those people. And I'm sure since you've been sharing things on Facebook that over time, right, because you've been doing what you're doing for like 8 years, you've noticed that your organic reach has gone down. So even the people that say, oh my goodness, I want to hear from Yolanda, they ain't hearing from Yolanda unless Yolanda's paying for that privilege, which is really a bait and switch that Facebook pulled on everybody, near a decade ago.
Yeah, here's the thing. All social media platforms have done this, right? If we look at how they monetize, right, how most of them make their money is by running ads for companies. And so let's say that, and I have over 1,000 Facebook friends, right? I don't see content from all those people because what happens is Facebook wants to show me organic post, ad. Organic post, ad. Now, I'm not saying the ad shows up every third time. I'm just saying it shows up at regular intervals, right? Whatever ads that they can show to me, whatever ads fit the demographic of companies that are trying to reach me, right? So it's this balance, right? So Facebook is trying to show in any other social media platform, they want to show the most ads possible so they can make the most money. but they also can't aggravate their users, right? If there's too many ads, users won't log in anymore. So it has to be this balance, right? And every company does this. So if they're an emerging social platform, nobody wants to buy ads on them because, oh, it's still growing, not many people are on here yet, blah, 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 right? Every platform turns to ads at some point. So we can blame Facebook for a lot of things, but we can't blame them for that necessarily. There's lots of other social media companies that display ads in the newsfeed, regardless of how old you are or where you're at in the world or any of that. There's companies that want to reach you. And as someone once said, if you're not paying for something, you're the product, not the customer. I'm paraphrasing. I'll put the quote on the screen.
And guess what's what? Facebook also owns Instagram, and that's happening over there too. So one of the things that I am a big advocate of, speaking of advocacy, for like the past 2 decades now, has been growing and maintaining your own opt-in email list. An email list for a modern day business owner is one of the most important assets that you have besides you.
I love all these nuggets. It's so funny. It's Rachel K. Albers, whose video I'll link about Marie Forleo and company below. It's very eye-opening. She's done a ton of research, and I'm just going to send you there because she talks about her clients wanting her to copy Marie Forleo's webpage, and she's even met Marie Forleo. But one of the quotes from one of her videos, it's her podcast. Her podcast also goes to videos, but I was listening to it because I was driving. And I remember the exact intersection I was at when I heard it, but she said, Marie Forleo walked so Jenna Kutcher could run. And if that ain't everything. So yeah, all these gurus, they want to check your own email list. Again, as I've said previously in other videos, this is a perfectly valid strategy. Part of what you own as a business owner is not just your physical assets, but your digital ones as well. So if someone would come to buy your company, yeah, they're buying your Facebook audience or whatever, but you can't reach out directly to them. Your email or your texting audience, where you have direct contact information for these people, is going to be part of what gives your company value. So it is important to grow that asset.
Meaning Yolanda's ideas, Yolanda's heart, Yolanda's desire to make a difference. Besides you as a human being, in modern times, your email list is the single most valuable asset you have. So long-term strategy, I want to see you building that up. We talk about all this. I don't know if you're familiar. I have a program that's called B School. It's online business school for modern entrepreneurs.
Yes, I'm very familiar.
Yes, we need to get your butt in there, woman. The next.
So she's giving free advice, but she's sending people to a program that costs thousands of dollars.
Next time that we have it come around, because
I applied years ago, actually.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to just get you put money in your piggy bank or seeing what happens when next time comes around, because it's a great education, and I can hear from your voice how committed you are to the work that you do. And what we need to do is just have that business structure underneath you, so that the profits come in, but they're not going to come in from social. It's really not the place that I think you should be spending your time. So to get to your real question, right, which is like, oh, I don't want to be spending all this time looking at this damn screen when I'm a mom. And I want to actually just make change in the world and not just be screen sucking all day. So this is your opportunity not to do that. I think what is really going to serve you when it comes to increasing your income is actually taking a step back, looking at your revenue streams, realizing where's the money coming from? What am I doing right in that lane? And how can I do more of that? How can I find more of those consulting clients or at a higher rate? Where can I make more impact in that sense?
I will say you can use social media to have people get to know you before they join your email list. I've been working on some content for ours, and I realized I just haven't told people we have a newsletter in a while. So I've added into our rotation some graphics and calls to action to sign up for our email newsletter. We also built it into all the forms on our website. So like if you fill out the contact form of the website, there's a little box you can check off that says that you want to subscribe to the newsletter. I will say 4 out of 5 people actually who aren't spammers, actually click on that box, which always surprises me. But I think you can use social to build that email audience. And I don't think she should stop doing it entirely. But maybe if she's posting like, I don't know, 6 times a week, maybe she cuts it down to 3. And one post every other week tells people, hey, I'm aggregating some great content from my email newsletter. Here's where you can sign up for it. It's once a month, comes out the third Friday of every month or whatever, whenever it comes out. Here's where you sign up, click here. So, and then she should shift that energy that she's not making, she's cut down her social media work in half, and then reallocate that time to reaching out to potential contacts on LinkedIn, getting recommendations on, LinkedIn or Google My Business or wherever she has a presence, and using kind of those as ways to get clients. So that would be my advice to her. Yolanda, if you're listening.
In terms of social, girl, if you want to use it for fun, that's fine. But frankly, I think it's a waste of your time.
Then why does she post so frequently on her social media? Why is she running Facebook ads? Marie Forleo, if social media is a waste of time, why are you spending time and money on social media?
Yeah. I hear you.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to sit. By the way, I think her mug says everything is figure outable because this is about when the book is coming out.
I hear you. Well, I think that really answers my question from the standpoint of I don't have to, and I really shouldn't be spending too much time on the social.
That's right.
Part of it, but I can basically just, say a word here or there.
If you want to.
Yeah.
If
but
you want
basically,
if you want to. We're going to see how often she posts on social media after this.
Yeah, if I want to, right. That's the other thing. And then, but to work on my email list, which I do have, thousands of or I can go hundreds, but close to thousands of followers. And then also look at it from a standpoint of business structure.
That's right. That's right,
and
Mama.
The B school.
Yes.
And
I'll tell you this. I want to give you that mindset because again, you're intelligent, you're driven, you're motivated, you have tons of heart. I think people spend way too much time on social. Like from a business perspective, it doesn't give them the return. But I'm also concerned with people's humanity. There ain't nobody I know that spends significant time on social where they walk away from their phone going like, wow, I feel so great about myself. I'm doing so well. It's a comparison machine. You just go on that thing and you walk away feeling like shit. That sucks, right?
Okay, so most of us who are in business have to be on social media to some degree, right? You have potential customers reaching out to you there. You have to get out your marketing messages, like what your lunch specials are, or that you have a workshop coming up or whatever, right? So we all have to be on social media somewhat, or pay someone else to do it, one or the other. Now, if you don't want to pay someone like me to do it and you have to do it yourself, I totally get it. I would say there's a Chrome extension, and there might be other browsers that have it, called News Feed Eradicator. And that makes it so my Facebook feed is disabled when I go on it. So I can get to the business pages and stuff I need to manage, but I'm not going to see any news from friends that's going to distract me. So that's a completely free thing. And then there are other, and these don't work as well for me, but there's also, and you could get these, put these on your phone or put these on your online browser. They're basically timers. And what you can do is you can set a timer. So you can say, okay, I'm allowed to be on Twitter for 30 minutes a day. And once, and you set these rules for these websites, and once you're on during that time, that particular browser or your phone or whatever won't let you go on those websites anymore. I found that those haven't worked well for me because sometimes I log in and a client has a Facebook thing I have to deal with or something, and then I spend all this time on it, and then I can't be locked out, right? Because I have other stuff I need to do for other people. So that one doesn't work for me, but the newsfeed eradicator really does work well. So basically, you have to just treat it like any other thing that you have to do, right? You don't go to the grocery store and just wander around, right? You have a list, you go in, you get your list, you get out, you move on with your life. And as long as you treat social media like that, it's doable, I think.
True.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
you tapped into exactly. Yeah.
That's right. So
everything
you want that
is happening. Yeah.
You want that good energy to go towards your advocacy. You want that good energy to go towards your revenue generating consulting clients. You want that good energy to go towards your child and towards this beautiful life that you're living, not that tiny screen.
I wonder what's in the gold jar and the copper jar. Very curious. Also, is this guy going to say anything?
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Exactly. Okay.
All
Yeah. Well,
right.
thank you so much,
Right when I said it, he tried to say something.
Marie.
Oh,
And
you're
keep
welcome,
up that
Yolanda.
awesome work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. And keep us
Okay.
posted on how it goes. We love you.
I will. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello. It's Marie and Gregory's here. Welcome to the Marie TV call-in show.
Hi, Marie. Hello. Welcome. I was going to
Asha.
say greetings from the UK.
Great. We are so happy to talk with you. So tell us your question. We will do our very best to give you some insight and guidance.
Okay, so I am a rollerblading and inline skating instructor, and I'm a recognized global expert in my field with nearly 20 years of experience. I've made a bunch of video training courses over the last few years, and I'm the first person to offer online training in my industry, which is great, right? No competition. However, I'm having difficulty breaking through the, why should I buy when there's free stuff on YouTube complaint.
Yes.
So my paid video products are like a universe away from YouTube freebies, even my own tutorials on my own YouTube channel. So my question is, how do I single-handedly educate my market? I'm now offering free trials of all my professional courses. Would you agree with this strategy? And what else would you add?
Okay, so a couple things. I got a lot to talk about with this one. This is really, really fun. So your market is not everyone that wants to learn inline skating. And your market is especially not people who only want to learn inline skating from free tutorials. Who I think your market might be, and you can certainly disagree or make an adjustment here, is your market is the person who don't have time to scour through all those free things, wondering about, is this the right way to learn inline skating? What level am I at? I think that you should focus your marketing on people that want to learn inline skating with a dedicated professional and want to either speed up their learning curve or learn particular tricks or certain things to do in a very condensed time. Because here's the thing, people don't buy information, they buy results. That's the deal. So you have to get really good at understanding who exactly you're talking to, and more importantly, what are the results that they're trying to get? Because we're living in an age where tons of information is free. I mean, I'll take myself as an example. So when it comes to online business information or marketing information or anything about growing an email list or a blog or creating free content, I mean, you can just go online and you can Google and you will find tons and tons and tons of videos. Some of them are my own about how to do this for free. Yet we have a program called B School, Online Business School for Modern Entrepreneurs. We've had over 44,000 people pay to go through that program. So when people are committed to getting a particular result, they are happy to invest in someone who can not only cut through all the clutter, right, and tell you, hey, there's a million things you could pay attention to if you're going for all the free stuff, but all you really need are these 4 if you really want the results. I'd raise my hand and pay for that every single day of the week. Then we think about sequencing, right? So if you think about, I could tell you all the digits to my phone number, but if you didn't have them in the right order, you would never be able to call me. It doesn't work if you know the sequence. I'm sure.
That's an excellent analogy, actually. Excellent analogy, Marie. She's a good speaker. We got to give her that.
There are similar analogies with learning inline skating, right? You can't just start off trying some real advanced trick because you're going to fall on your face and probably break your nose.
Absolutely.
You have to do things in the right sequence. So part of your job as a marketer, my friend, is you have to start to be able to articulate why signing up for one of your courses is actually going to get people the result that they want much faster, much safer, and in a way that they can really pay attention.
I think that's why people really like case studies and testimonials, because it's a way for them to see the benefits of working with you without working with you, because they can see people like themselves and what's results they've gotten. So, myself, I have been inline skating for 20 years. I mean, I'm self-taught. I come at it from a roller skating to roller blading in the 90s background, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. But if this person showed me that she could, increase my speed or help me, I saw somebody on Reddit did a marathon on rollerblades, and I was like, well, that sounds fun. Because running it doesn't seem fun to me, but rollerblading it seems fun. if this person could help me do that, or if this person has worked with other people in their 40s who, were hobby skaters and turned them into, people who were participating in roller derbies or something similar, I would have a lot more confidence in buying their course to see how I could get better at it. But she'll have to illustrate the advantages of, people who've worked with her. And then as somebody who hasn't worked with her, well, we know what that looks like, right? So
know that no matter who you are, and I'm saying this to you because we're talking to you right now, but I'm also speaking to everyone else who's watching who has also had this question, like, why would anyone buy my information if there's all this stuff out there for free? And you have to know this, there's always a portion of the market, and they're great customers who, even though there's the free stuff, there's something about you as a teacher that resonates, and they want to invest in a deeper, better, more entrenched experience that they can count on.
You mean a parasocial relationship? Hey, everybody watching this, I have courses for sale on my website. If you really want to buy one. I feel like the information is good. I don't know how it stacks up to what's free out there, but I've certainly spent time making it nice. Come on over if you want to enjoy a parasocial relationship with me for $25 or around that.
I do think that there is some skepticism, at least I've had it, when going through free information online. I don't know if I could trust this person. I have no one to ask questions of. I don't know how old this video is. I don't know their results. But when I take the time to investigate a paid program, whatever it is, I get to learn more about that teacher. I get to learn more about who they are. 9 times out of 10, I can write someone in support and get a question answered. So there are a million reasons why people will be happy to pay for something for you. But your job as a marketer is to do a better job of understanding who exactly your market is, what the problems they want solved are, and then becoming the best marketer you possibly can be and marketing your ass off to get them in.
Did Bethany watch this video? Bethany Beal is trying to sell a course about creating an online course, despite herself having never made a course, from what we can tell. Anyway, Bethany, take notes. This is how you try to sell a course.
Great. Fantastic. Can I ask a follow-on?
Sure.
So one of the, I've watched enough of your material and many other people's to know that, niching or knowing very specifically who your ideal customer is super important.
Yep.
Because I don't have any competition, and because in my real day job of teaching skating, I teach all levels. I teach complete beginners, I teach intermediates, I teach advanced, I teach instructors, so I teach the whole range. And my video courses are also the whole range. I have classes for beginners, classes for intermediates, classes for advanced. So, there's a whole sequencing of my products if one was going to go through those stages. But it's quite hard. I'm finding it hard to market to multiple.
Yeah, I think only the advanced people or people who want to see themselves as advanced are going to want to pay for the courses. That's just my assumption.
Clients, essentially.
Yeah, you got to pick one to start with. And the other thing too, I just want to give you another perspective. You do have competition. The competition is free.
Yes.
So just because there might not be a ton of other online skating instructors out there, first of all, that's not going to last for long. Second of all, free is your competition, because you even said it yourself. It's like, well, why is somebody going to want to pay for this? That is your competition. I would encourage you to look at which segment of the market, whether it's beginners, intermediate, advanced, or whether there's another category that I don't know about, which is the one that you feel that you can help the most and or is the most motivated to solve their problem.
Most motivated to solve their problem, aka pay money for a shortcut.
Whether it's about learning the beginning of the online skating, or it's people that they have the money and they're like, God, I want to learn these 15 tricks. And again, I don't want to break my ass while I do it. I want to sign up for this course with Asha. So that's going to be about
dropping the name in there. See,
about you choosing one. It may or may not work. But what I know is that when people try and focus on too many things at once, they get nowhere.
Yes. Okay, that's super important. That's super useful. And offering free trials of my actual work, do you think this is a good idea? As a way of, I'm trying to show people that this is, look at the difference. This is what you would get on a paid course as opposed to a free one.
Here's the thing. I'm opening up your site right now on my computer. I know that you can't see me, but I think generally speaking, free trials, like it's all about context, right? So whether or not someone should offer a free trial, sometimes the answer is yes to that question. Sometimes the answer is no, but it's also less about the free trial. And it's more about, well, what's the promise? What's everything surrounding it? One of the challenges I think that's happening for you, my love, is that you're focused too much on tactics up top and you haven't gone deep enough into the empathy and understanding of your ideal customers. You don't know the pain points enough yet. You don't know actually what they want. And if you do, you're not doing a good job communicating it, because some of the results that I've seen on your pages, just like, wow, I really learned something. Asha's a great teacher. It's more about, some of it is about you rather than about, oh my gosh, I took this course and within 3 days, I had these 3 tricks down. And before that, it took me 10 years to learn even how to get one skate in front of the other. You're not a B schooler, are you?
No.
Stop trying to sell B school.
You should be.
Okay, you're selling your book. Just sell your book, Marie. You don't need
I'm just going to tell you straight up. I think that what you have is amazing. Whether you learn from me or you learn from somewhere else, from someone else, you got to
Asha, you can learn from me. I'm way cheaper than Marie Forleo.
Learn there's a whole depth to marketing that sits underneath the tactics that I feel is going to help your business explode. Again, I'm biased to my own because it's real good and I've seen the results I help people create, but you may not want to do B school and that's totally fine. But you've got to find a place where you can entrench yourself in the emotional aspect of marketing, because that's what's going to turn everything around for you.
Or like if I was Asha, I'm in the rollerblading subreddit, okay? And people will post videos or questions. I'll post their equipment, stuff like that. And I think if she just went on there for like 2 weeks, she could see kind of like, okay, what is the feeling about people who want to get into rollerblading or who are into rollerblading? And what are they talking about? What questions are they asking? What kind of comments are they leaving? I think if you just spend some time in an environment where your customer is, where they're already having conversations and you can just listen, I think, would be really good. Now, obviously, if you want to get direct feedback, I would wait until you're in the community for a little bit to get the vibe of it, to see if do people ask questions, so that you don't, break even the indirect rules of whatever online community you're in. But, whether it's a Facebook group or a subreddit, maybe there's an online forum. I mean, who knows? Depends on your industry, right? But I think just sitting and listening to a group of people who want to get good at what you already know, I think will give you a lot of information about their pain points, about what they're interested in, about what they're not interested in, about what they worry about. And having that information in your back pocket, I think would make you a good marketer, regardless of what field you were in.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, I'd very much like to be a B schooler.
Well, welcome
Marie, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And hey, what you teach is awesome. I want to tell you, every time that I see people doing inline skating, and I've seen, Greg is right next to me and we're both like shaking our heads, because seeing people do inline skating with their headphones on or headphones off and they're kind of dancing and moving around, it is so inspiring. What you do is so, so cool. And I'm so happy that you teach people how to do it and be badasses.
Well, it's the funnest thing in the world, literally. And I always tell people that although I'm selling technique, I'm actually selling that feeling that we all have when we're on skates. And as long as you're not terrified and stressed out,
I'm telling you, girl, they're
cool and having a fantastic time.
Yeah. So what you just mentioned is actually a bigger piece of your marketing that I don't know if I really see in your marketing right now. Like the people that want that feeling of freedom and badassness, like there's a whole lot of magic that could happen. Again, there's a lot possible here. You're doing a great job. I just think that there's a whole level of depth that you can bring to your testimonials, to your level of focus, to your level of empathy. That's going to take it to the whole next level.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Marie, I'm about to embark on a world tour, which leaves in a few days.
Yes!
And I will be on the road for 8 months, and I finish up in New York in June. So you might just be seeing me in Central Park in June.
Awesome. All right. We look forward to that. Good luck on your tour. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much, Marie. Have a great day.
Bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Okay, forgot to say something because I got so excited. This is for Asha and for anyone else. If you're wondering why would people buy your stuff when they can just learn it online for free, you have to Google search my name, Marie Forleo, and what if people can learn everything I teach for free? We actually did an entire Marie TV episode on this. We're going to put it somewhere around here. Watch that episode. It is damn good. Greg, what'd you think of those?
Loved them.
Did you have a favorite question or a favorite insight on your notes?
Yeah, my notes. Yolanda really brought me through it. And Selma, I love her little creative collective and also like where to go to.
Did you see the little doodle on the first page of his? Hold on, I gotta go back.
Greg,
Okay, watch Greg's notepad. The first thing is a doodle.
What do you think of those?
Loved them.
Did you have a favorite question or a favorite insight on your notes?
Yeah, my notes. Yolanda really
Did you see it?
brought me through it. And Selma, I love her little creative collective and also like where to go to find your flow. Like something resonated. I'm like, I don't have a place to go to find my damn flow.
Yeah.
Like I got to find a flow group. Any flow groupers out there?
Oh, you know they're going to be hitting you up real fast. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I'm really curious, which of today's questions or any insights
Yeah, you gotta ask for that engagement.
that came out most resonated for you and why? Go leave a comment at the magical land of marieforleo.com and let us know. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to our email list and become an MF Insider. You really want to be one. Trust me. You'll get instant access to an
MF Insider.
video I created called How to Get Anything You Want. Plus, you'll get some exclusive content, special giveaways, and some personal updates from me from my heart that I just don't share anywhere else.
Yeah, she's got just email exclusive content. Also, Marie's previous life, she wrote a dating guide that has mixed reviews on the internet.
Stay on your game and keep going for your dreams because the world needs that very special gift that only you have. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Marie TV. Bye. Hey, are you ready to bring your dream business to life? Is it finally time to make the
Okay, and this is a big ad for B School, so we're just going to skip it. All right, so Marie, she's an engaging, interesting speaker. She's pretty. She clearly knows a lot about marketing. I want to look at some things with you now, though, because I think that broadcast, as I mentioned, was sort of done as part of a series of videos to help sell her book, Everything is Figure Outable, right? And during the broadcast, she plugged B School a couple of times. So I want to look at both her book as well as B School stuff and then come up with some conclusions together. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is her book, Everything is Figure Outable. And so there's the cover and all that. And then what's interesting is you'll notice that there's this little price drop. Hey, this price dropped 29% in the last 30 days. And it made me think, what's up with that? And so I went here and I saw that, it's down from $11 typically down to $7.99. But at one point in July, at least, it was like $4 for a period of time. This thing only goes back 120 days, so maybe there were other price drops. Now, what's interesting is there's over 4,000 ratings on this book. And yet, when I go to the ratings, and maybe most people bought this in 2019 when it came out, but if I go to most recent reviews, it looks like there's one from September, two from August, and 1, 2, 3 from July. So it's not like, I don't know how she got to 4,000 if these are the amount of reviews she's getting, unless, like I said, she got a lot at the beginning of 2019. And this does say sort of global, or the reviews, when you click on them, it says global. So I'm wondering if I'm just not seeing the ones that are not in English because of my browser settings. But anyway, most people liked it, but there's definitely some people who didn't. Like I said, I would have given it a 2 or a 3 rating if it was me, but I didn't do that. Now, obviously, she would love to sell an $8 book. I'm sure she wouldn't, who would mind that? but her big ticket item is B School. And as she said, she has had 44,000 people to pay to go through this. Now, what's interesting is if you look at her landing page that this is coming in February of 2023, and you can sign up to join the waitlist. On the bottom, it says, we've helped nearly 80,000 entrepreneurs make their dream business a reality. So it's a little unclear whether 80,000 people have paid, but she definitely said in the broadcast that 44,000 had. So I wanted to see how much this thing cost, right? So we've worked with tens of thousands of entrepreneurs across 650 plus industries in 165 countries. Okay. How much does it cost? You're telling me all the modules. Okay. Okay, and we have our additional things valued at a price ending in 9, crossed off because it's included. But like, here are the reviews. It's really hard to find a negative review of B School, which is, okay, but how much is it? And she always says, like, the world needs that special gift that only you have. The thing she said at the end of the video we just watched that I said along with her, she says at the end of every video. Okay, but how much does it cost? So I went to this page and I scrolled down. We have our little as seen in sort of trust symbols here. Here are some case studies. And it's really interesting that she has like 3 case studies and maybe a few more on that other page. But I don't want 200 plus case studies. 200 plus case studies. So let's pretend, because if it was 300 plus, she'd say 300. But let's pretend, let's do this guru style. Let's pretend she had 297 case studies, right? Out of 44,000 people. That is 0.675%. In other words, she can confidently have a case study for less than 1% of everyone who's gone through this program. All right, so I scrolled all the way back up and I'm still wondering, how much does this cost? Maybe it's in the FAQ. Okay. Okay, cost, yes. All right, how much does B School cost? Geez, did it have to be that hard? No, it did not. Okay, so B School costs $2,499 US for a 6-week program, okay? Or you can do a payment plan for $239 US for 12 months. Let me do that on my calculator. Okay, so you can pay $2,868 as a payment plan. So you're paying an extra $400 to do a payment plan. So you have less money, and so you're going to pay more. Yeah, that's logical. So do they offer scholarships? Yes. We have a dynamic scholarship program that's awarded over $730,000 in gifted tuition. Okay, everybody. Normally, all my courses on my website cost $1,000 each, but I'm going to magically grant you all a scholarship. And now if you go to my website, they're only $25. See how easy it is to offer scholarships to something whose price is completely arbitrary and that I have complete control over? Okay. Do you have a guarantee? Yes. We've always backed our program with a risk-free guarantee. If you do not, if by 5 p.m., March 12, 2023, but like, when does it start again? February of 2023. Okay. So March 12 is like 6 weeks. Okay. So if after that program, immediately after, you do not feel B School is right for you, show us the completed coursework and you'll get your money back. So you have to do the coursework and complete it to get your money back. And you have to show your work. It's just like you're back in high school algebra all over again. Please note that the eligibility for a refund has a firm deadline of 5 p.m. Eastern U.S. time on Sunday, March 12, 2023. Yeah, that sounds super flexible and like you're super confident in what you have to offer. Now, I will say that Rachel K. Albers has covered Marie Forleo extensively. And I will link to this among her other articles on her site if you want to go learn more about that. I think she has a couple podcast episodes about that, which I'll link as well. But I don't want to regurgitate what she's already said because she's covered this in a really compelling way. But yeah, just wanted to put that on your radar as well. And the final thing I'm going to say is that you'll notice there's not a lot of critical things about B School online, but there are people affiliating it. And I found this one as an example. So when you join B School through this person's link, you get their bonus when you join. So Marie Forleo apparently handpicks the people that she will do affiliate marketing with. And these people, when they sign up their audience to B School, get a financial kickback. How much, you ask? I'm not entirely sure. But it's something. And I think that that's interesting. It's very Tony Robbins of her. So what did we learn from Marie Forleo today? Well, going off the answers to the questions she gave to the 3 women who called in, right? Control as much of your environment as you can so that you can thrive as a business owner and as a person. So if you find that you work best in a certain kind of environment, create that as much for yourself as you can while understanding you can't change all of your circumstances. Find like-minded people. So if you're around other people, even online, who are ambitious and trying to build something, it's inspiring and it's going to motivate you to also build your thing and maybe get some support from those people when you need it. Don't spend all your energy on social media. So poor Yolanda was posting a lot on Facebook and not necessarily getting her customers from there. But ideally, social media is for nurturing relationships, but it can be a black hole for your time if you don't put some bounds on it. And instead of spending time on social media necessarily, you want to build your email list so that you can reach back out to those people. If you're in a different industry, a text message list might work better or might work equally, like restaurants and stuff. I don't know whether an email or a text list is better, but either way, it's good to have some way to contact your customers. The more, the better. Find how you're getting your best customers for your business and do more of that. So for example, if you know that your 3 highest tickets clients came from LinkedIn, maybe spend more time there. Or you might find that people really like watching your long form videos and those people become customers. So do that. Focus on the results that people will get from your information if you're offering a paid information product. So rather than saying, we have things at different levels or all that, what is the benefit, right, from people paying? It's that they get better information faster so that they can achieve results they want. So kind of focusing on that will help you sell a paid product if you have a course or something like that. And getting at the sort of feelings and desires of the person who's buying your course, like joining the inline skating Reddit group or the rollerblading group, will give you a lot of what those people are thinking and feeling and wanting to know, which will inform not only the products or services you might offer, but also the marketing you're going to do around them. And something I'm just adding here is you do not need to spend $2,500 on a program to build your business. There are plenty of ways to do it besides joining B School. And this whole you can apply, but you might not get in. And then the fact that it's only 6 weeks, this is a lot of money for a 6-week program. By contrast, that intense Facebook marketing class I sometimes talk about, it was $300 a month for 6 months, but it was still it was intense, but it was a period of time which, we could practice. There was a weekly call where people would bring in their ad sets and then we'd pull them up on the screen and look at them and say, okay, well, what could be better about this ad set? What's something to change? So I felt like that was a tremendous value. And there was hundreds of people in that class. And even though there was hundreds of people in that class, I would say there was only probably 20 or 30 of us on the weekly call. I'm not going to say I went there every week, but I went there most weeks because I felt like I was paying for it. And that's the kind of person I am. But anyway, there's plenty of sort of intensive. So if you want to get better at, I don't know, email marketing, or if you feel like you want to really dive into pricing, there's ways that you can get at that information. I would recommend talking to your local SBDC if you're here in the United States. Other countries might have something similar, but basically it's like sort of free business counseling local to your area. So they know about things like local laws, or, if you needed certain certifications, they might know about things like funding or just grant programs or stuff like that you can tap into. Another thing is that a lot of like community colleges or adult ed might have a really low cost, like how to start a business class. And even though I wouldn't say, and the end of the results of the class typically is a business plan. I took one from my local, it it's called New Ventures. It's in the state of Maine. It's basically helping women start businesses, among other things. But there might be, like, said, a community college or similar group doing this. This was a free class, and a lot of the stuff was stuff that I could have learned maybe from a book about writing a business plan, but something about going to the class, asking questions, and having assignments every week kind of made me do it. So those are things I would recommend instead of B school, especially if you're starting out, especially if you don't have 2,500 bucks to spend, to be Marie Forleo's friend. And even then, like, you might not be her friend. The case studies are less than 1% of the people who have gone through the class. And the only way she'll give you a refund is if you show that you did all of the work for the class. And yeah, you might find the class is not useful for you 3 weeks in, but they still want you to do all the work for the class to get a refund, which I think is kind of BS, I'll be honest. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any gurus you want me to react to, or topics you want me to cover, I'm super open to that. You can leave them as a comment on this video, or if you want more privacy, you can reach out via the contact form on my website. And if you like this video and want to see past episodes of the Nicole Reacts Generals series, you can go to this channel on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can go to the Breaking Even Communications channel and click on Nicole Reacts, and you'll see all the videos there in the series. Or you can go to my blog, and there is a Nicole Reacts category where you can see all of the episodes there. And thanks so much for watching. If you do want to support the channel, you can interact with this video somehow. That helps push it in the algorithm. Or you can subscribe to this channel. Once I get to 1,000, I'll be able to monetize. Right now, if you're seeing an ad on this channel, that's YouTube making that money. So thanks for helping me make the money instead of YouTube. I appreciate it.